Welcome back, everyone. We're going to do some wild turkey schnitzel today from a wild turkey that I was able to harvest. So we're going to do a wild turkey schnitzel over Spätzle. Most people know it in the United States as Spaetzle. So real quick, we're going to make some homemade Spätzle and move right into the wild turkey schnitzel, and we'll bed that all up real nice. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to get 2 cups of flour. Now normally you use a mandolin or something of that nature, but I have this nice slotted spoon. I watched the person in the video, which I'll link in the description, make it with a colander, and this slotted spoon has some holes in it, which looks very similar. We're gonna go get a 1/2 cup of milk, maybe less, so we're gonna have to eyeball this milk. 6 eggs. 6. Gonna mix those up real quick. So it calls for a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Don't get a little flour everywhere. It calls for a tablespoon of chopped parsley. I've got some parsley from my garden. I've got some lemon thyme, and I've got some rosemary. Okay, so that parsley is going to go into the flour. Nutmeg, parsley in the flour. Tablespoon, teaspoon respectively, but I doubled it. So it's a tablespoon of parsley and a teaspoon of nutmeg. So now this recipe calls to alternate between the milk, got that little 1/2 cup of milk, and the eggs into the flour until it gets to sort of a nice, not really doughy, but creamy kind of consistency. So this is going to be the hard part. So I guess like the eggs will make it sticky and the milk will make it more like kind of creamy. Whew. Yeah, I should have got the mixing bowl for this. It's a really bad choice. Crap. Highly recommend getting a mixer. So you should mix this up until it's smooth, kind of like a cake batter. And then it says to let it rest at room temperature for 30 minutes. I want the chunks to be small enough, hopefully, that they can fit through the slotted spoon there. Let this rest for 30 minutes at room temperature. So you got to track of time. And then we're gonna come back. I'm gonna bring some water to a boil with some salt in it. I'm probably gonna use Tony's, because I always use Tony's in place of salt. So we'll use Tony's, boil the water, and we'll come back in 30 minutes whenever this is ready to go. So this next part, we're gonna go ahead and take the turkey out, the wild turkey breast. So, as I do with all game meat, for the most part, I've taken it and I've soaked it in buttermilk and with Worcestershire sauce. So that's what I've done with the meat in preparation. That just kind of tenderizes it and helps some of the gaminess come off. So I'm gonna take that, this is 1/2 of the turkey breast that I have out. I'm gonna take that out. That looks like the tenderloin right there. And I am going to make some cuts out of this to essentially make the cutlets, right? I don't want them too big. In fact, I might go ahead and just break these down further into like smaller medallion pieces. Okay, so my next step, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pound it flat. Okay, so I got some garlic powder. Here's the flour. There's the flour. We're just gonna put some garlic powder in the flour. This is breadcrumbs. So you could really eyeball this. This is just how much do you wanna use, how much do you wanna lose. It calls for about 1 cup. Again, I like stuff very seasoned, so this is to your own taste and preference, right? So I'm just putting some Tony's. A lot of times when I used to work in restaurants, we would put Tony's in here until it started turning it kind of pink. Like, I don't know if you could really catch that, but it's kind of pink now. It's got a little pink tint to it. I am used to extremely seasoned food. That's how I like it. All right. So we got a little garlic, a little Tony's. This is seasoned flour batter. This technique is called double battering. And very popular, especially when you're cooking stuff and you want it to be really covered. So here I'm just going to make a simple egg wash. This again is a preference thing. So depending on how thick these eggs are, you may want to knock it down some. I'm going to put some hot sauce in there. Again, I think this is a good flavor choice. And a little bit of milk. And the reason I'm putting milk in there is just to make it a little smoothed out, because otherwise it's a bit too sticky. So I'm going to take that meat, I'm going to put it in the flour. So put it into white flour. That's going to give us a base coat. We're going to go from white flour. We're just going to wash it real quick in the egg. And then this is called coating, right? And I'm going to cover it with the breadcrumbs, and then I'll push down, shake it off a little bit to get any excess off there. And there you go. Beautiful cutlet. And I'm just going to keep doing this until they're all done. This is a half a turkey breast. This was a big bird. It really was. I can't even imagine what it's like to shoot like a 30-pounder or like a 25-pounder or something. That must be insane. And it's going to taste extra good because I got this all by myself. This is my first one. This is going to be one of those experiences that I just have a very deep memory of. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the Spätzle. I'm going to start boiling some water. Put a little Tony's, a little salt in the water. I'm going to bring this to a boil. While that's heating up, I will chop up an onion. I love using a red onion. I know in some cases the white onion may have a more potent flavor. All right, got some butter. This is some lemon thyme that I pulled from the garden, and we're going to throw that in here. It's already smelling like ridiculous, right? It already smells like ridiculously good. Got this on a medium, so I've got some butter, some onions, and some lemon thyme in here. So effectively what's about to happen is I am going to take this, I'm going to pour this through the slotted spoon. You know, it's going to drip in, kind of make like noodle shapes. Here, it's like little dumpling noodles. I got the butter and the onions over here heating up, and as this gets finished, I'll start transporting it over here and start baking it. Kind of once it's floating at the top, it should be good. Yeah, I didn't realize the recipe was making quite so much. A lot more than I bargained for here. It's definitely enough for an entire wild turkey, I'll tell you that. So, good but bland. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. So I've got this pretty low and slow right now, and I will turn it up to like really get it crackling here in a moment. I think I'm going to put the rest of this up. I'll use it later, but this is going to be a ton of Spätzle. All right, so I've got the Spaetzle all cooked up. I put it over here on the plate. I've got the turkey cutlets. I've got some butter and some bacon grease and some rendered pork fat here. And I'm going to start laying the cutlets in here and also put a sprig of rosemary in there as well. Woo! Oh my God. This is looking really good, so it's got a nice golden brown on both sides. And I'm going to start taking these off. I put them on this paper towel to kind of help drain them. This looks really good. About perfect. Cooked up. Holy crap. And so all I'm really looking for here is for both sides to kind of brown up. This meat's not too thick. It's been pounded out. All right, cut the camera. Cut camera. This is going to endanger the entire wild turkey population if anybody eats this. When I'm telling you it's that good, I'm going to be totally honest. This might be one of the best German meals I've ever had in my whole life. It's starting to get a little bit, it's not burned, but it's starting to get a little brown, so I'll turn it down. Got some little bit of butter and some lemon juice in here. All right, everybody, so here's the plate. It came out way better than I ever thought it would look. Pretty stunning. This is wild turkey schnitzel with a lime butter sauce that I made with the Spaetzle, homemade Spaetzle, and this ring around the edge is the red cabbage. All right. There you go. It's so good. It's unbelievable how good it is. I'm gonna say this, and this is honest, totally honest opinion here. This is the best German food I've ever eaten. This is honestly so, it's so good. I may never cook wild turkey another way ever. I'm scared. I'm scared something, you need to cut the camera off. Everything. They're gonna extinct wild turkey. It's almost like nothing I've ever had. That's how unbelievably good this is. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.